So I set a timer, and we'll see what happens. Will it just I mean, kind of the ideal thing would be that I hear it, and I stop it. I stop the thing. I have a feeling what's going to happen is going to start ringing, and as soon as I go to turn it off, this will stop, which is actually perfect, if that is what happens. Yeah, I'm not sure it is what's going to happen, because I'm sorry, I'm just noticing that this is not as high as it could be. I'm going to make it go up a little bit. Yeah, I'm surprised at this tripod. It's just a little bit shorter than, it's actually great for me. For me, it's like ideal, I think. For a taller person, it's a little too short. Because I want to be eye level. And I realize, it's not perfect. Eye level is here, because I'm looking at the screen, and actually, the more I do this, the less I look. But I want to make sure, for example, if I'm doing something with my hands, I want my hands to be here. You can see it. See them. But if I'm looking down there at me, well, I'm not looking at you. You are right there, which ideally would be exactly my eye level, I think. It's all right. I think the further back, it probably right here, it probably makes no difference at all. But as I get closer, you probably notice. The closer I get, the more I'm I don't know. You see, I can't. Well, if I look at, you see, I'm looking down now. Now, am I looking at you? I think I must be. I think I'm looking right at you now, and that's what I want to do. I mean, not necessarily the whole time. Well, the nice thing about this is you don't have to look at me. You don't have to listen. You don't have to even have this on, but you could hear what I'm saying, and for the most part, my message is verbal, for the most part. But actually, I think it's not. Maybe it's wrong to say the most part. For a large part, it's verbal. And for actually, I think what's happening now, and for me, right this, like now, as I speak, I'm realizing that as I use this medium, because I was just using audio before, and now I've decided, just today, just now, the audio has its advantages. It really does. But video, the way I'm doing it now, as long as I keep it within 10 minutes, oh, look at that. I've covered up the time. Oh, that would explain why I've been missing it. I think this needs to go way down. I've got rubber bands here that cover up things, and it would cover up the time. Oh, so I now can see the time, and I set a timer. So hopefully I'll stay within the right amount of time. And excuse me, my hair. I'm in need of a shampoo and conditioning, and it's a little tricky. But I only use custom manufactured shampoo conditioner, and it's made specifically for my hair. And it has to be made fresh, because once it's got to be completely fresh. And the way I manufacture it, because I manufacture it myself, is I get into a hot tub, a real hot tub. I use that a little bit as desensitization. I mean, I get into a tub that's so hot that it really hurts at first. And then I learned, I'm practicing having my conscious, rational, scientific side of me say to my very primitive yet really important system, our whole pain system, our perception of pain. So I have my rational, scientific side of me say, it's okay, I understand your feeling. What's happening is there's so many of you heat receptors that are being sprung, so to speak. I mean, that's what's happened. That some they're either chemical or physical actions that cause receptors of any sort, any touch or sight, everything else. I mean, there's some kind of reaction, chemical or physical. So pain frequently is physical, but it could be chemical, but whatever. What with heat, temperature, sensitive. Like, well, because the temperature goes high, it triggers some sort of reaction that doesn't happen unless the temperature is above a certain high degree. And once the temperature gets above, boom, a chemical reaction takes place, and that sends the signal, oh, pain. And it's really like, somebody saying, pain. And any one neuron saying that is completely meaningless, because it's such a tiny area, and it could just be a bizarre, reading. Because, we do sometimes, some of our receptors fire at odd times, and people who have certain kinds of conditions, neurological conditions, that cause their neurons to fire all the time. Right? That kind of, there's this searing pain that comes from what used to RSD, or there are two different terms for it, but yeah, people will have this awful, like, burning kind of pain from just the slightest touch. And anyway, I mean, it's really, something's going on there. Those receptors are firing falsely. So, anyway, what's happening when I put my foot into a bath, into water that's way hotter than I'm used to? All those receptors are firing, saying, oh, blah, 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 hot, hot, hot. And, it's not just one going, hot. It's hot, 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 hot. And so many hots together that they're a loud voice. I mean, the Moody Blues said it, the power of 10 billion butterfly sneezes.